Zazu COC here with your Movement Minute for today. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about pelvic health. So first off, I am an orthopedic physical therapist. That is where I have a lot of experience in both the outpatient physical therapy settings and also private practice. I am also trained in pelvic health. And pelvic health is not just exclusively for women. Men have pelvises too, and men also have pelvic floors. It's not just exclusively for women of a certain age, because I have seen young girls with pelvic floor problems like pelvic pain, so tailbone pain, tailbone issues, leaking urine, issues with constipation, issues with core activation and getting your pelvic floor and your core to be working a little bit better, to all the way to women who are perimenopausal, premenopausal, postmenopausal, and most often I actually see new moms or expecting moms, and that's because when we are preparing for a baby, that's when we kind of start thinking about our pelvic floor a little bit more. The pelvic floor, I find, is kind of like your nose. You know you have a nose, you see it in pictures sometimes, you know it's physically there, but you don't go around, aware of your nose all day until there's a problem or until something brings your attention to that area. So the pelvic floor is similar in the sense that a lot of people don't think about it until there's a problem. But it's just like every other muscle group in your body. It just has a little bit of more variable functions than your regular old, muscle group, because it also influences several different systems. So one of those systems is the urinary system, so your bladder. The other system is your GI system, so that's like your colon, your rectum, and also sexual health. So if you're having pain with sex, if you're having issues with sex, so that's for both women and men. Stability, so it really provides basically the bottom part of the pelvis to really help reinforce that pelvic stability, which is where we get our core stability from. And support. So the pelvic floor helps to support all of the pelvic organs that lie inside of the pelvis. Lastly, the pelvic floor actually helps with lymphatic flow and blood flow of all of the kind of midsection, lower extremity area. And if you know how to activate your pelvic floor, you can help yourself out by, being able to increase blood flow, all that good stuff voluntarily if you wanted to. So that's a little bit about kind of what pelvic health can mean. And certainly, again, this is something that can affect both men, women, children, people of older age, and midlife. You would be very surprised the people that kind of walk through my door with pelvic health specific problems, because you may not actually think that they would have something like this going on. So we'll talk a little bit more about what are some specific things you can do to help yourself. And a lot of times the great thing about pelvic health specifically is that there's a lot of behavioral style, like lifestyle modifications that you can do that can really help your quality of life and your ability to integrate your pelvic floor into the rest of your body. Again, it's just like any other muscular system. No muscle works in isolation, and neither does the pelvic floor. So your core, or what we call your core, is not just your abs in the front, but actually your core is like a box, or it's like some people call it a canister. And so you've got your pelvic floor at the bottom, you've got your diaphragm at the top. Those two work like a piston together. You've got the abs in the front, and then you've got the deep lumbar muscle stabilizers in the back. And those 4 muscle groups basically have to work and coordinate together all of the time. That is how you get your main stability through your core. So if you're having, core issues, but, you're doing all the ab exercises you can do, well, sometimes it's not as straightforward, or not just the muscles that you look at all of the time that can be the ones that are giving you a problem, or that can be the ones that can help really optimize through that area. So learning how to actually activate your pelvic floor voluntarily is a great way to start. So if you have any questions, let me know. That was your Movement Minute for today. In future videos, we'll talk a little bit more about different pelvic health type of issues. But if you have any that you want to hear about, reach out, let me know, and I'd be happy to do a video on them. Catch you next time.